What is going on? Welcome to the Chec box. That was Sabrina, Claudio. Wait. Song by my guy Alec over here. You know what I'm saying?
I got put on. I got put on though.
Word, nah, it was
I
actually.
got put on. That was an amazing.
That's a pretty smooth song.
Amazing track.
I like that.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
I like that. I definitely do.
Bad too.
What's going on, guys? Episode 5. We are here. Special guest today. None other than my man's over here, Jeremy Cruz. Germs, man, tell the people a little bit about you.
What's up, guys? My name is Jeremy. Good friends with everyone here. My brother right here, Chec. Known him since I was born, pretty much. You know what I'm saying?
Literally.
Blood can never make us any closer. But right now, just a little about me, guys. From the Bronx, studying right now to become an accountant. Getting my CPA by 2020. Going for my master's in taxation. I'll be graduating with that in May. And yeah, just happy to be here and have some good, insightful conversations.
Absolutely, bro.
We're gonna have our financials
Thank you, guys.
covered.
Yeah,
we
I know.
have two.
That's a fact, bro. Literally, I love it. I love my circle of.
And 3 too, because we also got what you call this kid? Is it Chris also?
Chris, yeah, well, yeah, he actually just got a job at Chase.
Yeah, shout out to Chris, man.
Yeah,
Wow,
shout
really,
out to
really,
yeah,
congrats,
he's doing
bro. We
his
got
thing. My boy's doing their thing, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I really do. Germs, man, we're
What's up?
excited to have you on the show. I'm glad you can make it today, bro.
Of course.
We're gonna start off just talking about episode 4, gentlemen. Our first visuals.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I think it's probably our best episode yet because we have the visuals.
Yeah.
A lot of great feedback.
Great feedback.
People loved it. What were your thoughts on it? What's up?
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
It looked good. It turned out really good.
Yeah.
Nah, it definitely did.
I think
way better than I thought, actually.
Yeah. People were telling me that they love to see the expression on our faces when we're saying stuff. Like you can see how passionate we are about how, you know, the things that we say, and so like having that aspect on it really it I think it elevates the platform. So I mean, if you guys are listening on SoundCloud, that's dope, but if you get a chance to
Stop being lazy. Just put it on YouTube.
play the YouTube.
Watch it while you drive.
Play
Don't
the
do
YouTube.
that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
All right.
Don't do that.
Disclaimer. I think you should get to the most important part.
Yes, absolutely. Really quick. How can I forget this?
Come on.
Shout out to Gun Hill Brewery, guys. We have another beer here. You know what I'm saying, Mars? You want to just get that real quick?
Ooh.
Yeah, nice. This is a gold IPA, 6.6 alcohol content, pretty smooth. Shout out my guys over at Gun Hill. Y'all already know what it is. Y'all already know. Back to the recap on episode 4. Perp, man, what do you think of it? Talk to us, man.
I liked it. I think it was good. As always, that was one of those topics that an hour and 30 minutes or whatever it was is just not enough.
It's just not
you know.
enough.
Yeah, you could go all day on stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I think it was pretty good. I try to hold down a certain group of people when I give my perspective and kind of speak for certain people. But I hope I was able to get my point across smoothly. But yeah, people just let us know and stuff. But I liked it. It was definitely something that
different.
Yeah, I feel like the stuff I've been going through lately in my life. I've been starting to realize how the way my parents did their parenting, I guess, is affecting me. You know what I'm saying, in today. Yeah. So that's why it was very, very good episode. So why I liked it too. But yeah, I was a fan of it.
Absolutely, man. I couldn't do anything but agree more. And Germ, I asked you before the show if you saw it. You said no. I showed you a couple of minutes. But I mean, you pretty much know what it was about. It was about parenting. Why don't you tell us about your parents, your little situation, regarding your parents in college, you in college, of course.
Yeah, so, I mean, of course, parenting is a crazy topic that can dive into, like you guys said, much time. With me, I'm an only child, so that's alone, causes a different perspective for parenting.
Yeah.
I'm single mom household since I was 5 years old.
Wow.
My dad remarried, so I have a stepmom and 3 brothers, and of course that influence there, and spending, every other weekend in my dad's house and interacting with them. I didn't really have a great relationship with all my stepbrothers growing up, so, what I'm saying. But, I mean, I understood because I got aspects of having brothers, even though I didn't really have that at home. Mm-hmm. But shout out to my mom, that woman, she made me everything I am today.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Well, that's definitely my second mother, man. So I can actually, hearing him say this, bro, I've seen it firsthand, and it's truly.
No, she is a really amazing lady. Like just talking to her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I forgot you
yeah,
met her.
yeah. I met her.
Yeah,
Yeah, a couple
yeah,
times.
yeah.
Yeah, she was getting
Oh,
litty.
yeah, no,
She was getting litty. Yeah.
Shout out to you, man.
Where do we go go to
we
in
were
Throgs
at
we
Mama
were-
Juana's Cafe right there on
Yes,
Throgs.
celebrating your mom's birthday
Yeah,
actually
celebrating my
too.
mother's
That was a
birthday.
fun time, man.
My mother
That was
was
a fun
there.
time.
She had a good time.
Yeah,
Yeah, literally a
yeah.
month ago. Actually. Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, no.
Okay, I can't wait anymore.
Yeah, no,
Like,
please. Can we
let's
pop
do it,
this?
let's do it, let's do
Can
it.
we pop this?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
DC that weekend. I was about to
Thanks,
say,
man.
how the fuck was I?
Yes, you were. Yes, you were. Cheers.
You're not
boys.
drinking?
Excuse me.
Can we just get a quick cheers? Cheers to you guys at home, whether you popping a bottle of water,
Guys,
sipping your
cheers,
juice,
brothers.
or popping a brew with us. You know.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Which I do
See, I'm
encourage.
avoid that.
Yeah,
I'm
please.
avoid
Throw a
that.
little bit on me.
But just no Coronas, please.
Nah, oh man, can we let's not get back to
Dude,
What is it? What's the
shit.
problem, bro?
dude.
Oh
It's
man.
like-
Definitely
basic,
for this-
bro. It's like
basic.
But don't hate
Trying to
on
hold
it.
the
Don't
mic, I
talk
poured this
shit
very
about
terribly.
it.
Oh my
basic.
god. Listen,
God, like it's a staple in the like beer community,
It
bro.
is.
Like
What
just it's a go-to,
Come
man.
on,
That's all it
Alec,
is.
Alec just isn't a fan of Corona. He
I mean, that's
Listen, it's
that's
not
a
my
household
favorite. It's not my
favorite.
favorite.
That's all. It's a household favorite.
Oh.
it's a
people
household
rock,
favorite. You
yo.
can never go wrong with
It's
a
a
Coke
household
Corona.
favorite.
Never go
Yeah,
wrong
you
with a
get. You know
Coke
what I'm
Corona.
saying? Like
That's like I think that's like
I
when
shouldn't think twice about grabbing a Corona, bro.
When,
Like,
no, when,
like,
when I'm trying to like not get more fucked up, I think that's maybe the only time I really go for a Corona because it's like water to me. You know what I'm saying? Like
Sure.
that's why. Anyway.
I had that. So,
Tastes like
you know,
piss.
talking about episode 4, I actually forgot to mention that I come from a broken home as well. My parents separated when I was 10 years old, so that actually had a huge effect on how I think, how I move, and whatnot. But we're not gonna get into that, okay? I do want to get into some of the responses from episode 4, though. We got a lot of people have been giving some great feedback. We got a couple of comment on YouTube, some personal DMs. We're gonna touch on them a little bit here.
What was the question again?
So, all right. So the question was basically on YouTube: do you believe in gender X? How were you raised? You know what I'm saying? Basically, what did you think about the genetically modified twins? Essentially, all the questions that we covered in there. And one of our viewers, she goes by the name of Nessa CX Beauty. Okay, she mentioned how the video was an extra component to the podcast. She really enjoyed it. She could relate to a lot of the points that we made. And she also brought up social climate is actually changing along with political climate.
Yeah.
And that it's not really being spoken about. And she does not trust humanity at all with gene customization. What are your thoughts on that, Ken?
I agree with her on everything, except for maybe the talking about the politisphere, like changing. I definitely think it's being talked about, just probably not in the way that she realizes. There's definitely like a sort of culture war going on. That's a whole other, episode topic. But
I think it might actually come up a little
little
bit
bit, yeah,
today.
yeah,
A little bit
maybe
today. A little bit
yeah,
today with the
yeah.
topic today.
yeah,
So,
but there's
for
definitely
sure.
there's definitely a lot brewing under the surface. There's definitely a lot changing for sure.
Yeah.
And you don't trust humanity with things like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes some things you just can't. Alec, I know this is a good friend of yours, so thank
Yeah.
you for the support.
Word.
Okay,
Word.
what
Word.
are your thoughts on her thoughts?
Uh,
What are your thoughts on her thoughts? That was my point.
I mean, there's not much else to say,
I
beyond
feel
that.
like-
Beyond
right.
that, I'm loving the quality of comments that we're getting back
Yeah.
right now. It really does. It warms my heart when someone is appreciating something that we're doing right now.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
for me that means a lot.
It
So
does.
thank you,
it
Nessa.
does.
Appreciate it.
And it's actually a great feeling to know the support that all of us
Right.
are getting through
Right.
this. And talking about the content that we were getting, we're gonna keep this next one anonymous. But someone DM'd one of us, and
What was the question, though? What was the question?
In response to basically the punishment.
Because we never got to talk about it. We never got to talk about punishments, and I really want to talk about it. So we're gonna do it today.
We will right
We're gonna fucking
now.
do
We
it
will
today.
right now for a bit. We're gonna go with this anonymous person, okay?
Who we all know very well.
Very, very well.
Actually, well.
Very well.
So they got caught sexting on their phone, gentlemen. Got caught sexting. I guess you guys can assume what happened next. Her phone got taken away. For
I really want to know. I really want to know how they
3, 4,
found out,
5,
though.
Oh,
But 6 months on top of getting that ass beat.
Yeah.
That's
But I wonder if it's the same beating as like, you know what I'm saying?
It
Like,
depends. I mean,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
I get
don't
what
know.
you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Because a
Just
different
'cause we know-
family,
yeah, we know
different
the- we
family,
know the
like,
origins. I mean,
so
I don't know, man. I feel like an ass beating's an ass beating.
we're
Bro.
gonna have to ask her. We're gonna have to ask her like how it went down. Oh shit.
That's crazy.
Oh no, I didn't. Okay, I
Nah,
thought.
we're good. We're good. And then another good friend of ours. We're gonna keep it anonymous as well. DM'd us basically speaking on how she got grounded for a month.
Yeah.
Because she went to go see a boy that she liked and
No, it wasn't
lied.
her. It wasn't her. It was her friend.
Oh, her friend.
Her friend.
Okay,
her friend,
sorry
her
for
friend.
that. So her friend
Yeah.
lied to her parents, said
Yeah.
that she was going over to Rebecca's house. Oh my god. God damn.
Might as well right now.
Might
I
as
mean,
well.
she didn't really, she didn't
really say anything anonymous. The
anything.
other one wanted to be anonymous. I'm an asshole. I am literally the biggest idiot at this table. What are you gonna do though, Rebecca? What's going on?
Was good.
So basically, you sent this to us. Your friend lied to her parents. She said she was going to your crib.
No.
She said she was going to go see some boy, but ended up going to your crib.
No,
And
totally wrong.
so what was it then?
Yeah. why don't you say?
So Rebecca, I just want to do the story justice.
it
Yeah,
out.
story justice. So she ended up, kind of went with her friend to go see her friend's kind of like guy that she was into.
What was a dying?
Dude, alright, bro? You need some water, kid?
You need some beer, man?
That's definitely.
Get
what
this
it
guy
is.
some beer. This is
alright?
This is already a fun episode.
Boy.
I'm gonna have to make a visit over there.
This is already a fun episode.
Dude.
So go ahead,
Yeah.
bro. Continue with the story though.
So anyway, her friend liked some boy. She ended up saying like, I'll go with you, and to see the boy.
Mhm.
And they ended up lying and saying she was going to another friend's house.
Oh,
The mom
there
was
we
trying
go.
to figure out where all of them were. That mom ended up calling the dad, and so
Jesus.
you know how that goes. The parents start communicating and shit like that.
That's the
Forward
worst.
alliance.
That is
Yeah.
the worst. When
Did you
you're-
ever go through that?
Oh
Like parents
my
communicating and then getting you like in trouble. I didn't really get too much of that, but
I didn't get too much of
I
that
never
either.
got too much
I've
of
never
that.
teenage girls, so I don't know. I can't
I got that sometimes, but not that often to be honest.
Yeah.
And if it was some little shit. I can't really think of one. But I mean, that's pretty trash though to get grounded for a month to accompany your friend in her rebellious acts. I mean, that's crazy, dude.
I would,
a month? I'm not gonna lie. I don't
month?
think I've ever gotten grounded. I'm not even sure what grounded means.
See, I got like
I-
punch like.
Well,
Like,
Nah,
not that I don't know what it means, but
No,
it's
like you can't go out, and you know what I'm saying, like, you stay in your room,
Restrictions,
yeah, no TV, no thing. Grounded, I think, is a umbrella term for a lot of different things that can happen.
It's like parent jail.
parents. Parents.
Yeah.
So my question is to you guys.
Got
I
it.
mean, I'm not gonna lie, these are a little bit like light punishments. Like,
Tight.
what's the harshest punishment you've ever had? Like harshest punishment and why? Or like the weird creative? Because to be honest, my mom had some creative punishments. Like, I don't know if you guys ever kneeled on rice. Have you guys kneeled on rice?
I've heard of it. Never did that though.
That was
Never
like an
did that.
actual.
Never
That
did
was
rice.
that was an actual thing. That was an actual
Yeah.
thing, and I can't remember for the life of me what I did to deserve that. If my mom can comment on this, and because I know she's listening, she watches every episode, I want her to tell me why. All right. Yeah. And I got the whole booty thing. When they fucking they you take the pants down, you put your fucking,
you
you
get
go
spanked.
over,
Yeah.
yeah, with the fucking, that getting locked in a room, bro, that was
sucks.
terrible.
Sounds
That
like
was
child
terrible.
abuse, I'm not gonna hold you. but
Nah,
That sucks.
nah. Dude, it was.
I don't think I've ever gotten punished like that.
Yeah,
I can't.
I can't think of
I think I've
actually.
got like the kneel on rice and you gotta hold.
Oh, you got the kneel on rice too?
Yeah, you gotta hold the
textbook.
book up and shit.
Oh, you
Oh, you got.
We tested
That's
the arm
old
strength.
school,
What
man.
book you hold?
Yeah.
What book
Yeah,
you
word
hold?
up.
Any book at that point, or just
Like,
like a
you
Bible?
can do Bibles. You can do
I think I'm
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you.
basic stuff. It didn't happen to me, but I seen my pops, bro. Alright. I think my pops beat my oldest brother's ass so much that he was just like, yo, I've done my ass beat. I beat that nigga so much that me and my middle brother got it.
Yeah,
You know
you
what
didn't
I'm
even
saying?
get
So,
anything. Yeah.
I've seen him beat my older brother, bro, with PS2 wires. I'm talking about, oh, bro,
Yes,
like,
two
yo.
hours,
my
man.
on a bear,
Son.
like bear
Yes, two
skin.
hours, though?
What you mean?
Bear
What,
skin?
What, did they prepare for that? Hell, you don't.
That's the thing, like,
Like,
I've
wait,
never-
yo, put your pants on. I'm gonna beat you. Like,
I've-
nah, bro. It's in the moment.
It'll hurt regardless, bro. I mean,
nah,
like,
yeah, but they don't prepare you, bro. You getting it when you getting it.
Here's my thing. I've never
Oh.
gotten punished, but beatings I have gotten, and I feel like the beatings have shaped me to who I am today because them shits told me a goddamn lesson.
which
Let me tell you.
one was more
Nah,
which one
yeah.
was more impactful? Like a punishment, like a grounding,
No,
or like
no,
a,
no,
or,
no,
or like a
beatings-
beating?
A beating.
beatings is
You
still
don't-
common sense.
right.
Because now you start thinking, all right.
If I do this,
Yeah, do I
So you
really
feel me?
want to
So-
get my ass beat? if I
Yeah, so
do
now
this?
you start
Like, think
thinking, all
smarter.
right, is
Yeah,
this gonna
yeah,
lead
yeah.
to that?
It's simple
And
aversion
it's
therapy.
simple,
That's
exactly.
it's simple.
I think it's like at its simplest form like that because it's my ass beat or not. Am I getting my ass beat or not? You know, and then that transforms into like more complex things.
Absolutely.
but-
yeah, there's just I feel like the beatings really tell you not to do that thing again.
Right.
Because let me tell you,
You're
this.
associating a behavior with a negative outcome,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's conditioning.
Yeah, and
That's
that's-
what-
that's
that's
what
exactly what it
compared
is.
to like a grounding or stuff like that, like getting grounded for or my phone taken away for 6 months or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, all right,
I can learn how
You
to
can adapt.
I
You
can
can
learn, yeah,
adapt, right?
You know, to my
'Cause those
beating is
things,
like,
yeah.
well, all right, like,
Yeah.
well, you're gonna get new nerve endings or whatever.
Nah, they're just gonna numb.
You just don't want to get your ass beat. And then the thing with that is like, there's new ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's new way. All right, me beating you with the PS2, I don't hurt no more. Now I'm gonna get a fucking spiked bat. So I'm like,
Yo.
Seriously, they always find new
not so
ways,
deep,
bro.
but you get what I'm saying. There's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
way to
yeah.
inflict pain. Orange peels,
Honestly
don't leave a
speaking,
mark.
bro,
All right, I'm getting deep into it, but you feel me?
Orange peels.
Yeah, they don't leave a
What?
mark.
That's some combo shit.
Orange
That's what
peels?
you put the shit, pick it out, they just make it orange
Wait,
peels.
so wait,
What?
so you
Sorry,
cut it in the
I
long
don't
way
know.
so that it's
I never had it done to me, but yeah.
orange peels.
Let me tell you though,
that's
Orange
creative.
peels, they don't leave a mark and shit.
Getting smacked with a wet hand is probably one of the worst things I've ever went through, bro.
Or like the towel.
No, like a towel, but a wet hand.
wet towel,
And
the
this
wet
is crazy.
towel.
Like, let me tell. I just want a disclaimer. We didn't get abused as children. I don't want to make our
Yeah,
parents seem
yeah.
like monsters.
Oh.
I don't need anyone to go and switch our words. No, these beatings
Culture
were out of
services.
love.
The real
They
one.
weren't. They weren't
They were
every
out of
day.
love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the people who beat me were my parents, and I've already mentioned my parents here. So, getting smacked by my dad, bro. Listen,
I thank my parents.
Nah,
for
yeah.
right,
that.
I
Yo,
like
it's
everything
feel-
they've done for
yeah.
me, from beatings to whatever, bro. Anyway, yo, wet hand, okay? My father, fat ass hands, fat ass fingers, bro, just going on my back. First off, his whole hand was my torso at one point. So,
Fast.
bro, knocked the wind out of me sometimes, bro. And that shit, yo, I would not do whatever I was doing there, bro. One time, bro, I slammed my door. Never forget this. Mom, I love you. I really do. My mother, I slammed my door, unlocked it. She literally kicked my door down.
Yo,
Bro,
that's
she Spartan kicked my door.
yo.
And
Nah,
my
you
life
bold.
broke
You bold for
everything,
that.
Bro, it was. I knew never.
Why do
again
I
that
see?
would
Why do I
broke my door.
picture
Yo,
that
that's what I'm
and an
saying.
angry fucking
My mother's like
Miss
5'2".
Pacheco?
And I can
Nah,
imagine
shit.
this nigga's face when she broke through. Like, oh!
I was crying, bro. I was
Did she have like the
crying.
lips like?
Oh
the
yeah.
fucking like the wrinkled lips.
Dude,
Yeah, she
My,
does.
my cousin actually had a pretty cruel one done. I forgot. Nellie is my cousin Nellie. I don't know if you ever met her.
I definitely did.
Did you-
I
did-
don't know.
So yeah,
definitely did. I don't
so
know.
shout so shout outs to her. I hope she's listening. She's up in Salem, upstate New York. And I remember she got in trouble for something. She's gonna have to jog my memory. Comment on it, please. I wanna remember. She got her hair cut. Like her hair was long, and like she got it like buzz cut as a punishment.
Oh my god.
Oh,
You know what? That's crazy that you bring that up because as a barber, you know, I follow a lot of barber
Yeah.
pages and you see these people taking their children to barbershops and getting, you know, like just like a bald spot in their head and for
What?
punishment.
Oh,
Bro,
really? Is that
yeah, people do that and like
Wow.
I would speak to Mars all the time, you guys know Mars.
is that a
you know what I'm
thing?
saying?
That's a
Camera guy.
thing.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
It hasn't come to me
tough.
yet. Now let me tell you something.
That's tough
If
in
there
this
was a
day and
parent,
age.
if there was a parent to come to me and tell me, yo, give my son patches all over his head, I think I'm gonna have to deny that request. I don't care how much money you're paying me. I can't
I
do
like that. I like
I
that.
can't do that, bro. Especially as a stylist,
That work
as a
ethic.
barber, I can't do
Because
that.
that's you.
Yeah.
That's not me.
That's your brand.
That's not me. And it's crazy that you said in this day and age, because that was gonna bring me to my next sort of subtopic,
Right.
the punishments and the changes of the generations, because
And how it's viewed also.
Yeah, I
because
mean,
you know.
because I could talk about my father. My father shared one room with 4 of his brothers, and let me tell you, first off, my uncles and my father crazy. These niggas they used to throw knives at each other for fun in the crib. Knives.
See, I used
Yo,
to throw.
Robert,
I
what are
used
you
to.
doing?
I used to throw. No,
Why are
I
you throwing knives at
see.
my
Listen.
Yo,
So
that is
I found a
wild.
ninja star in my house one time. So my wall as a kid growing up was fucked. I would literally like what like I would like just like some ninja. It was fun. So anyway, continue.
But yeah,
I don't know
so
about
the
that.
punishments of generations just changed, bro. Like my father used to talk about how he used to hide under the bed, and my grandma used to R.I.P. used to like poke him with the broomstick, or take like the wire and just fuck bro, chancleta, everything, bro. And it's crazy because like I know I didn't get it that bad today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't get it that bad. I'm not sure about y'all, but you know the changing in punishments and just the changing in generations alone, which is what we're gonna speak on our generation. Millennials, you know, it's crazy. Like, do you know about your moms and your father? Like how they were,
Yo.
like their beatings basically coming up.
My mom has countless stories. She was the youngest. She had 4 brothers and 1 older sister. She was the youngest one, and her mom. It was the only single mom home.
Oh, sorry.
Bless you.
Sorry.
Like a 7.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That was the bass was good. I'm sorry.
And She used to tell me how she used like extension cords, like thick ones with the coding and everything. Like she used to get like almost every day.
16 gauge or like 12 gauge?
I definitely ain't asked. You want to ask you that?
Oh man, that's
It's just that
But it was very, very common, very often, and she just had to take it.
You know, I mean, it begs the question, like, is it necessary? And I know this whole generation now is like, you know, viewing these older punishments as archaic and cruel, and
they mostly are, in my opinion. But I mean, it depends.
You know what blows
it
my
does
mind?
depend, because I mean the thing is that going back to like what it actually serves, like the purpose that it serves, that aversion therapy, like, so in place of that, what else do you think, you know,
No,
how do
before
you
even get to that, you also got to think too. At one point, abuse can become abusive. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
too much
yeah,
abuse.
yeah.
Oh,
That's-
absolutely,
that's,
absolutely.
That's all it is.
I've
It's-
witnessed too much.
Yeah. I think that's
Not
what
for
it is.
myself, but like for people in my family, I've seen
Yeah, you've seen
like,
it.
and I see how it affects this person in my family now.
yeah.
You know, and it's just like I've literally seen it.
Seen
I'm like,
it, yeah.
like I told you. You know what I
No,
mean?
yeah,
It's like
no.
one of those I told you so situations where it's like you went over the top. You
Yeah.
went over the top, and now it's affecting this person now, and you're complaining about it.
Yeah, I
But,
think
like,
it's just
you know
distinguishing that.
you know deep down it's partially your fault because you went over it.
Yeah,
but
but
I feel like that
distinguishing that.
line. I feel like that line is something that we assume that we know, but we really don't know that line. And I feel like so for for some families, no. The thing is that like at what point does it turn into abuse?
Yeah.
Right. You know, because I understand, like, my mom, she did not enjoy doing those things. You know what I'm saying? But to be honest, I was a spoiled little brat, bro. I was a spoiled little brat. I there was literally probably nothing else that could have done, like me getting. And it was actually really funny. I was actually raised in this room. This room did not look like this. This was actually the room that my parents had raised me in. They lived with me. I was actually on that end, had my little bed here, and I used to get locked in this room. It was a pretty big room. It wasn't like a closet. It wasn't like when I got locked in the room, it was like this room. But that was enough for me to be like, yo, I was screaming at the door, and there was like a barrel bolt on the other side, so I couldn't open it up. Dude, it was wild. And for me, it was, yeah. Were you ugly cry though?
I think I was ugly.
I mean,
Cry.
he's ugly in general, so how could he not be?
Oh,
That's a good point.
He's the biggest hater, man.
I'm not, bro. I mean, honestly, to make you feel better, I wish I could hate on you, but I just can't even act
Am
like
I
I'm
bugging?
hating on you.
That's love, bro.
That's what's
Enjoy
up.
that.
Yeah.
Hold up, real quick. That's a good point though, with the abuse becoming abusive. You know, when it comes to abusive, it creates, sometimes the receiver is gonna have trauma from that, right? So that trauma and going through the generations, I think, is also what's causing our generation now to feel differently, because they want us to show us, of course, something different, and that's what it stems from. Because being traumatized by that, of course, if they really love their child, they're not gonna want to pass that on, which is, I think, the biggest catalyst for like the changes through generations.
No, absolutely. One thing that actually blows my sometimes is you see it all over Twitter, maybe Instagram. People post,
Oh yeah, they
you
post
know,
the abuse.
They post the
Yeah,
abuse,
for
and
attention.
sometimes for attention, but then they post like little shit that we would go through, and then they'll make it seem bigger than it really is.
Right,
You have people
right,
like us retweeting,
right.
Like, oh, this is nothing.
And that's what I mean by like the viewing, like how this new generation views it.
I
It's
think
like
it's new generation and where you come from too, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's where you come from,
Yeah,
because we can all say, I'm not trying to discredit upstate people, but we're in the same state. We're in the city life is completely different from upstate, and that comes with beatings and everything, bro.
Well, I mean,
No,
I
so
would
I think
also
that's
say
what also drives
I
it.
I don't think it- I
I
don't
wouldn't
think
call
it
it geography. I'd call it culture, right? Because like
Okay.
you can live upstate and then be your parents could be straight
from this.
from Dominican Republic, and you
True.
you still
You're
get your
right,
ass
you're
beat
right.
no matter what.
True.
for
Okay.
fucking around.
So that's definitely more the correct term.
It's,
With the
yeah,
culture
culture
shit.
is definitely.
yeah,
what
I think
matters
I don't
most.
think I don't think location really
it's
is
more
the
culture,
determinant,
yeah.
right?
It's just the geographic location. It's like like upstate. There's gonna be sparingly like people of color per se, right? Versus here in New York City, we're everywhere, and we all share a common, you could say, cultural bond, which is abuse of our children.
One thing, bro. Did you have more?
No.
One thing that I do get bothered by a lot is abuse in public.
Yeah, that's
I agree
Un-
with that.
unwarranted abuse in public,
Yeah, like,
first
I don't
and
think
foremost,
you should-
like.
I don't think you should
I-
do anything to humiliate
public,
your child. in
yeah.
public.
And you know what I see it most for the stupidest little thing, and
Yeah,
the
no,
things that make me
something
really,
silly.
and the
Silly.
things that make me really sad are like, for example, if a kid's just being ultra curious, right?
Being
I'm
a kid,
on
being
the
a kid.
subway,
Yeah.
I'm on the subway, right, and I'm seeing people, and there's no particular story. This is just I think we've all seen it at this point. The mom in her phone, usually a young parent, right, in her phone, in her social media thing, or whatever the fuck she's on. And her kids just asking questions, and I just see just the kid just get not only get ignored. That's just one that's discouraging at the end, right? But then when it comes to punishment, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When it comes to just basic things that little kids do, you know, I understand it gets annoying, but you know, I understand how
that's not
I
the way
was
you deal with it.
right. I was raised. I was indulged. You know what I'm saying? Like when I had a question, someone tried to find the answer for me, or they would explain something to me. You know what I'm saying? And I came out like this. And so when I see that, I'm just like, what the kid that could be. You know, I'm you know what I'm saying? And then
The kid can't even really get an option in that. You know, they don't choose that.
Like,
Because
you
you
can't
can't do
choose to
anything.
not do. You know what I'm saying? Like you're beating a kid for being a kid, and it's like, does the thought ever run through their head like, yo, I was like that at 1.2?
Right. No, I think it does. It's just like I think it runs through them. It's just like they don't know what to do about it.
Or it causes a different reaction than it would.
Yeah, it doesn't matter enough, right?
Yeah, I
Like,
guess.
I think it's more like because like I've seen exactly what we're talking about. Like
all the time, bro.
yeah.
All the time, especially on the train, man.
No, but I'm saying like I've experienced, like I've seen it, like I've lived with it. You know what I'm saying?
Firsthand.
So,
Yep.
like,
Yep.
So like what I think it stems from. I think it just stems from not being able to actually. Like, I think it stems from a parental insecurity and not being able to actually accommodate the fact that I have a very curious child on my hands and I don't know how to deal with it. Or I have an adventurous kid or an energetic kid and I don't have any clue how to deal with it. And I think it stems from that because it's like, you know, like the way I was raised was if I was being stupid, I'm gonna just go get my ass beat. So you know what? Let me go try this. You know, with my kids, even though you know they know it, they shouldn't do it, but it's the only thing they know how to do.
Yeah, I hear you. And with that being said, guys, we're going to go into our first intermission of episode 5. And when we come back, we're going to speak on our main topic, which is the generation of millennials, okay? We are going to be referring to an article that said a couple of things that we're all going to touch on. And then, of course, we're going to raise our own questions regarding us as millennials. And I want you guys to enjoy this track. This is Who I Am by Toro y Moi. You guys heard him on episode 4 off the same album, guys. Enjoy this track.
Moving on into the center of Los Angeles, if you're using a larger electronic device such as a laptop computer, please note that these devices are to be stored in an overhead bin or under 6 feet of ground.
Kawasaki, slow it down. This might be my brand new sound. Psychedelic, oh wow. Island accent to your sound. Now I don't know who I am. 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 Who cares about the party? I came to see the band play. Who cares about the party? I came to see the band play.
And we are back to the Chec box. Welcome back, everyone. That was Who I Am by Toro y Moi. You already know what it is.
Oh, another one by them.
Another one
Shit.
by them, bro. It's actually on the same album. Outer Peace.
What's
This
the album?
guy.
What's the album?
Outer
Outer
Peace.
Peace.
That's some guy sitting
Stream
on
it
like
on
a bowl.
iTunes today.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Spotify.
And if you're liking these tunes, man, you know, check out the SoundCloud
Yeah.
playlist. You
Yeah.
know, it comes out
Absolutely.
every.
Well, actually, it's in the bio of the YouTube, where
Okay.
I basically say I don't own the rights to these songs because
Dope.
we will get in trouble for that.
Yeah, we will.
You'll catch all the artist's name and the songs that we play here.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know? So yeah, guys,
Some
just
good
a
tracks.
quick recap. If any of you missed the first segment, we introduced our special guest Jeremy. Okay, we spoke about a little bit about. We did a recap of episode 4, and then we spoke on some of the responses, 3 responses, and then that actually led into punishments that we got from our parents, that our parents got growing up, and how it basically changed throughout the generations. We spoke on how, you know, this newer generation abuses their kids maybe in public or through a haircut. I was mentioning that.
That was wild.
Yeah, that's actually pretty crazy. And
wild.
now we're
Nothing
gonna.
new, though, I feel like.
What happened?
Yeah, nothing.
It's nothing new. You said no. I feel you. It's nothing new, bro. But I just feel like the technology that's around
Yeah,
today,
yeah, yeah,
being that
yeah.
it's so handy, everything gets exploited
Yeah.
much quicker than back in our parents' days. So on to the main topic of today, though, millennials, our generation. Okay, quick little fact: the millennial age is from 1982 to 2004. So
Mhm.
you are considered a millennial. 91, 92, 2001. We're all millennials. Okay, that's who we are.
Yeah, yeah. I don't mind being called a millennial,
How
even
do you
though we get a bad rap.
Yeah, there's a
apparently.
stigma that goes with millennials.
Apparently, yeah.
Do you think you fit that?
I mean, there's stigmas and stereotypes with everything.
True.
Right.
True.
That's all it
As
is.
long as you don't really care, right?
Yeah,
Don't let that shit affect you.
I don't care.
I don't like being thought of as like a piece of a collective. I like very much being an individual. So anytime someone wants to group me in something, even when, to be honest, even like with nationalities and stuff like that, I tend to stay away from. I tend to like just focus more on my individual rather than be prideful of something that I didn't do. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So so that's why I feel like in this case, maybe with millennials, like. Sure, I guess I'm classified as one, but I don't identify like
You don't walk around saying,
yeah, I'm a millennial. It's like no, it's like it just happens to be just like I happen to be Dominican, Puerto Rican. It just happens to be that way. So,
I hear you. Well, somebody thinks otherwise about
Yeah.
us.
yeah.
Okay,
what are they saying? What are they saying about us?
So
Man?
we have a BuzzFeed article written by Ann Peterson.
Let's do it the right way.
It's called "How Millennials Became the Burnt Out Generation." This article was handed to us by my CB over there, the producer of this episode, France. Make some noise for France. You already know what it is.
I was
Very
pointing at
nice.
him because he did that correctly this time.
Oh,
Yeah.
word. Yeah, I mean, can we just
Dude,
talk really quick?
Got
Alec,
him.
you got a Band-Aid on. Tell us what happened.
Yeah,
I don't know if
put
you
the
guys
Band-Aid
saw
on-
that.
on
Yeah, we're
through.
definitely not cutting this out. Yeah, I mean that little.
Right
so I
before we
tried
went to break.
Yeah, I have this like 15-in-1 like little tool that I got from like the Container Store. It's pretty dope. It has like all this stuff. And I thought one of them was a a bottle opener, and that's what it looked like. It looked like it, right?
You thought wrong.
Dude, I ended up fucking taking off the whole like glass piece and cutting the shit out of my finger, and yeah, dude, it was taking
He's
a.
back.
Yeah, I'm
Shit
back
is
though.
broken.
Yeah, I
He's
thought it was
back.
hemophilia for a
Broken.
second because that shit was leaking for like a good minute, but
So Ann Peterson,
we're all good.
how millennials became the burnt out generation. She opens with basically these labels. As you were saying. Not sort of labels, but I guess you can say the stigmas and the stereotypes that come with everything. And she wrote how millennials are spoiled, entitled, lazy, and their failures at adulting. And a fun fact, the word adulting is a word created by millennials.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, a lot of people wouldn't know that. I didn't know that until I read this. Keep it above.
It sounds like a kind of like a new
sure you've
age
heard that.
millennial
Yeah,
thing.
centennial
Anyway,
thing. It sounds
No,
like
but-
someone born in 2007.
I remember
made
when
that
it
up.
started to come like. I remember when it started to like it started to make its way into like the lexicon of what I'm saying,
Right.
adulting.
I think it was
Yeah.
I think
Like just the
I would say
vernacular.
I noticed it more like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah,
Really?
I would say
Yeah.
about that time too.
Yeah,
It's
college.
fairly
I
new.
feel like in the middle of
It's
college, that's when it
It's
started to
fairly
come
new.
out and stuff like that. I say it a
fairly
lot
new.
now.
Oh, I say it a lot too. Yeah.
Fakely.
It
I
is.
do.
It is a good catch-all though.
It is.
It's
It
a good
is.
catch-all.
It
It
is.
is.
Because you understand it as soon as you hear it.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude,
You know
it is.
exactly what's implied when you hear the
Exactly.
word adulting.
But you know what's really funny with that, and it's actually something that I've just like thought about actually now, the power of naming something.
Like euphemisms. And stuff.
I was thinking about this, like the power of naming something. So, for example, adulting. And I think this is what she was getting at in the article, right? Is that the fact that we even have a word for
everyday shit.
right, for things that we should just be doing. That this is something held completely separate. When you start to identify something, and when you give it its own category, you're almost dissociating that from like your life. So by saying adulting, you're really dissociating that from just say regular living. So now adulting and regular living are now two separate things, and I think that is what is the root of how the millennial problem is coming about.
So do you think that millennials are spoiled, entitled, lazy, and that they're failures at what's called adulting? Jeremy, what do you
would say
think?
so.
I want to hear Jeremy's first. Hold on. Let me hear something
Yeah,
from you, man.
yeah,
Talk
let's
to
hear
us.
Let's go.
I mean, you can see. I mean, the well, what did he say? That
Spoiled, entitled, lazy, and failures at adulting.
yeah, these characteristics. I'm sure you can see. In our generation and our friends. I don't know if I mean. I mean, if you talk to our parents, I'm sure you can hear if that was more prevalent in their life growing up. I think that if you hear about enough, of our parents, I'm sure I wouldn't hear such things because, our parents probably working like 15, 16 years old. So they probably didn't have a choice to not like this or like this. It was forced upon them. I feel like us as millennials.
The newer millennials. Oh, no, our parents. I'm bugging. I'm thinking.
We.
Our parents are boomers and Gen Xers, I think.
Yeah, so I don't even remember. So we can see or we can understand more like our side of things because it's different. But I mean, I can see that. But this ties into shortcuts that I had mentioned before. Our brains naturally create shortcuts. We look for efficiency. Methods.
Yeah.
We look for efficiency methods. So even just making the term adulting and you saying disassociating, creating the term adulting, you putting a negative connotation makes it even harder. But making adulting is
It does kind of have like a
it
kind
has
of,
a negative
I gotta
connotation.
do that,
Exactly.
type of thing.
which only adds fuel to the fire of what's happening. But we made that shortcut of
Yeah.
adulting.
I try to say adulting with a smile on my face.
Yeah,
When
no,
people
yeah.
say like, "Yeah, I'm adulting now." Adulting shit. It's just like
Or like neutral about it. You're just like, yeah, something I gotta do.
I think it's a positive thing. I think it's something that we should all I think we should.
Embrace.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, really, that we now just like realize, listen, like it's kind of shitty to do exactly that. Like place it something separate. I think that I'm actually a little bit more mindful. I'm actually gonna leave this a little bit more mindful and thinking, like they're
You know
not.
what it is? I
they
just
shouldn't
think
be
that
separate.
people have failed to come to the acceptance that you're an adult now. Now you have to do these things because there still are people my age, 23 years old, who bitch and moan about getting up for their 9 to 5 or like having to do OT some shit or having to do anything related to what they have to do now that they're this age and they've obtained their degree or whatever the case may be. It's like, just accept the fact that you are this age. This is what you got to do now. This is your everyday life. You're not going to party every night no more. You got to do what you got to do, bro. That's it.
I think that comes from I would say two main things. I would say it comes from one, how you were raised, and
Absolutely.
two, how you view your life. So it's one thing to view your life like I don't want to go to my 9 to 5 because I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I'd rather go build something else, which is I'd say more what people are turning towards now.
Mhm.
But there's another on the other side. It's like what you're saying. That's the laziness component. That's the I don't want to have to get up at 9 to 5 because I don't want to be a big boy or girl, right? Like I don't want to have to accept my responsibilities. I don't want to have to work. So I think there's two sides to that. But it's also like, depending on how you were raised, you were either raised to be someone who will only do a 9 to 5, or you were raised as someone who ascends past a 9 to 5, so to speak.
Who will do that and more.
Past that, yeah. Who thinks like a 9 to 5 is not where I'm gonna be forever, but I'm working to move past.
Right.
that.
I'm willing to. I have to start here.
Yeah.
I'm only willing to climb.
So that I think ties to the overall big point about millennials being entitled and lazy and things like that. I think it's so like I think the entitlement thing kind of comes from the fact that like they right. The reason boomers I would say believe that is because for boomers their life really was a lot harder. I mean things were really
There were certain things that I feel like there's
certain things that parenting, what I'm saying? Like, you say parenting might have played a role, but I think just the time and the state of that time
that's what I'm saying. Like,
really is the one aspect, and then parenting on top of that.
The culture was different.
But it's also like for example, like this I also think mentioned in the article too. Like working has evolved. Like you can no longer just punch your clock. Go to 4 years, go get a degree, maybe a master's degree, and if you're really really smart, a PhD, right?
Which my man's just finna get soon. You feel me?
Yeah. Interview soon. Yeah. So like I think that like that has changed. Like before you could get a bachelor's degree, walk into somewhere. Oh, you have a bachelor's? You have a college degree? Yeah. You're hired. Yeah, whatever.
Absolutely.
Now it's like, oh, that's all you got. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, you don't have, but you don't even have skills.
But you don't even have experience.
Yeah, exactly. So you need experience. You need a master's degree, and maybe even for things that. A job that's like $50,000, you need a PhD for sometimes. Seriously, especially in the science realm, like a $50,000 job
with a
to get
PhD.
Grants, you need a PhD for a PhD and like 2 or 3 years experience. It's like it's insane. The job market is insane now. So that's why people and also before you could buy a house for like literally a fifth of what it costs now. Back when our parents were kids or back when our parents were growing up. So like. Everything is harder now as far as like financially. Everything is harder for us.
Yeah.
So people think when we say we want more, people think like because they had to work harder, like their hard work produced results.
our hard work isn't necessarily going to do that.
We're trying to work smarter. We're trying to work smarter.
We have to work smarter, but not necessarily. Working harder is not going to produce what we want now. You now have to be.
There's more.
There's different ways.
You need more.
You now have to have the right skill set. It doesn't like it matters. Your skill set now matters. More.
No, and I
You
think,
can't
and
have
it,
any random skill set.
and it plays into what you said. So basically, it's like we're at a time right now where we're kind of realizing, all right, this system's not working anymore. Graduate high school, go to college, get a degree, fucking get a job. You know what I'm saying? That's not really exactly. That's not the route anymore. And we're kind of realizing that. We're kind of like acknowledging that and saying, okay, there's smarter ways to go about this. There's better ways to go about this.
But it's also like dealing with that reality is not easy.
Yeah, for people that had to go to college, had to go, and you know what I'm saying, and had to do that.
Getting an English degree, okay, then stop shitting on English.
Shit.
I just spent 4 years.
Yeah.
No, that's a great degree. No, that's a great degree. I just spent 4 years getting a psych degree, but every psych major that I know seriously needs a master's, a PhD.
In order to do what they
all
really
these
want to do.
all to do things that I feel like are just mostly common sense jobs. But because the market is so flooded now with
That's what it is. It's
everyone's
the
got a
saturation
bachelor's
of the
degree,
job market
it's like,
that's really making it tough.
Yeah, that's what
man.
makes it impossible.
It's making it really tough, and that's why it's something like, you know, when it came to me, I've always wanted to choose a job, one that I love, and I'm in love with the sciences, but something that, you know, that's not flooded, you know what I'm saying, not common, you know, and that was something that was really important to me, you know, because I felt like that was always an issue. Like when they said we were gonna leave college, you know, we got those horror stories. I don't know, like back in the, I don't know if you
I heard
like,
about those horror stories before I went to college.
Yeah, no, before we went to college. Oh, you're not
college.
gonna get a job after you get to college, and it's crazy how this, and it's funny how we were just talking the other day how the majority of the class that we graduated with, or even within like a time frame of, you know, 4 years between, you know, going forward or back, they're doing amazing for themselves.
They are.
You know what I'm saying? All my friends are doing, all the people that I graduated with are doing amazing. They're all where they need to be. You know, and we're all where we need to be right now. And so
And
like
we're going to where we need to
and
be
so and so I'm only seeing the horror stories really for the people that just never that never got it, that it never clicked. Now, but it's not for everyone though. You know what I'm saying?
Clicked, or would you say they were possibly what Peterson says lazy?
I think
it's mostly the lazy.
I know it's definitely lazy,
Because-
and this is why I think like this millennial kind of like description doesn't really apply to everyone. I really don't think applies to
You can't really generalize our generation with that.
Absolutely not.
Because
Absolutely
I'll
not.
find the lazy people, and I'll find exactly what you're
Absolutely not.
describing in every other generation. It's kind of like with the
Absolutely.
astrology thing. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
It goes
Like,
both ways.
Yeah.
There are people who are lazy,
Right.
who are spoiled, who do feel entitled, and who do feel that adulting, but it's not the majority.
No, I wouldn't say it's the majority at all.
Nah, by the way, I was looking up Ann Peterson. She looks like she could be a boomer herself. So
Yeah,
you
she
know,
looks old as shit.
rather old. rather old. She's a rather older woman. You know what I mean. So obviously she's gonna target the generation after her because we were raised completely different.
I don't think the article was meant to be a slam piece.
No, I
it
don't think
wasn't
I don't
a
know.
slam
I
piece.
It's
think
just
it
an
was just
assessment.
it wasn't nothing crazy. That's just what it opened up with. But she actually made very good points. If you guys do get a chance, please check this out.
Link
But
in the description.
like I was saying, I know people who are lazy, but then I know people who go get it, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we're obviously all from the same generation, so it's like I wouldn't necessarily call us a burnt out generation.
But I do. You know what?
Maybe
I'm not
she's
gonna
speaking
lie.
on the earlier millennials.
Listen,
Maybe
her-
she's speaking on the 85s.
But no,
on the
actually part of it.
90s,
Yeah, she
on
was
like the
part of it.
early.
No.
Alright,
I'm
now
not gonna lie.
that's
I'm
why-
not.
That's getting crazy. With
I'm
it.
not gonna lie, bro.
I'm
Reading
just
her
maybe.
stuff, just like you said, reading her stuff, man. What she was talking about, right? She talked about something. I love this this term that she used. Errand paralysis.
Oof,
Okay,
yes.
errand paralysis. How many times have you found yourself knowing that you have this list of little minuscule little tasks to do just so that you can just move on, get them out the way? You know, just little like maintenance tasks, right? For example, you know, paying a check or paying a car. I think paying a ticket or responding to something, or just how many times you look at a text, you're just like, why does it hurt? Why does it hurt to just
real quick.
quick? I mean, it's stupid little crap like that, and like why is it so? Why does it burden us? Like, and this is why I'm saying like what so millennials in general I don't believe are so like who we are. I don't believe we're lazy in general, but we do have these little bouts of laziness that come about us that really hinder us from being everything that we should be. I mean, and to be honest, we catch ourselves all the time. I tell my friends, and the things that we know about it, we're conscious of it. Even if you are conscious of it, it still doesn't matter. That's what makes it. It makes me feel.
It sits right here.
It makes me feel like it's a part of me, right? It makes me feel like it's a part of you that you can't get rid of, and it's just that's not healthy right there.
At all.
You know, and it's funny, you know, being in grad school, you know, we talk about pushing papers. We have this master's, you know, review to do, 40 pages, and we're all literally all at a round table talking about how we're procrastinating. We literally have procrastination huddles. It is ridiculous, and we just talk about how we're procrastinating, how, you know, and literally that's it, and why we're procrastinating. It's hysterical.
It is not procrastination.
To procrastinate.
Procrastinating with procrastination talk. It's procrastination square.
We all do that.
It's wild.
I can't tell you how many times I've caught myself on a Friday, Saturday night. I'm probably out with y'all, and I just it dawns to me that I got something due tomorrow that's like 10 pages,
honestly,
and I'm just in the middle of the spotlight.
Yo,
you ever seen the meme? You ever seen the meme
at
the club? No, at the club.
At the laptop. Oh, I've seen memes. People sitting there with laptops over.
It was just literally a guy at a club like this, surrounded by people all having a good time, and he's like this, like in the middle of the club.
With, Drake. He's like
the Drake one. I think it was the Drake one.
And then it says Black
Oh,
Lord, and then it
yeah.
says,
That's what it is. I think it was a Drake meme.
His face is like this. That was literally me.
Honestly, that's one feeling I really appreciate not having anymore. Like now that I graduated, bro, because that was bad. I used to be like, fuck, yo, like when you'll be somewhere just like really trying to chill, and then you'll be like, yo, damn, bro, like I really know I got something to do, or you know you fucked up on something, like it's annoying.
That's actually that's crazy that you say that, because now I want to ask you how you feel about this. Now that you're adulting, what if you're out the night before? Well, you might not even go out the night before if you work the next morning, but you are, and then it dawns you like, yo, damn, like I really gotta wake up at 7 in the morning, and it's probably 2:30.
It's not as bad.
How do you feel? Would you say it's sort of like the same, like,
it's similar, but it's more of an annoyed.
Like,
for me, it's more like I'm more annoyed about it, because I'm like, yo, you know what, like this is just super annoying, because in school there's ways to get around it. You feel me? Like, I got at 8:30. Fuck, I'm gonna sleep at 3. All right, you know what? I'm gonna wake, bro. Nigga, I used to wake up at 8:30. You feel me? Get to class like 8:45. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, and you know what I'm saying? Get like 15 minutes late, and you know what I'm saying? Get around this. I can't do that at work. I can't get to work late. I can't fucking at work like just fuck around and do shit. You know what I'm saying? At school, I'll go to class 15 minutes late, chill for like 15 minutes, leave to the bathroom for 30 minutes, come back. You feel me? Like shit like that. You feel me? You can't do stuff like that at work. Like, I mean, I can't. But yeah.
I've done that.
So back to the whole millennial thing. You know, Alec was here doing some extra research, and he ran into an article that's titled 20 Millennial Problems That Actually Apply to Everyone.
And it was actually pretty interesting. I was looking at these and like, these are really fucking valid. Because you know what it is? That these millennial problems are now becoming everyone's problems. Yes. Because the millennial...
And that's crazy. It says the struggle is real for everyone. That's the
end of the title. It really is. Yeah, and this, and you know, looking at these at some of these talk points, they really are everyone's problem, because we, for example, how we were raised. You know, we were raised with this technology, and I feel like a big part of this is due to technology and how much technology plays in our life, taken away from our, you know, agency and our responsibility. We'll get to that a little bit later, but with how we were raised, like the viejos, right? The viejos are starting to adapt to our lifestyle.
It's crazy,
and it's very interesting to see that.
A lot of grandmothers have cell phones. A lot of grandparents have I'm like, yo.
Well, it's a great thing. It's phenomenal. It's a great thing.
It's crazy to see like an older generation adapting to you.
Mijo, go. And what's up? And what's up? You know, it's like...
I mean, and there's a list of 20 here. There's a list of 20 here, and I'm just going to shoot out random ones. Really quick. You don't know anyone's numbers anymore.
Dude, I really...
I never really did.
Yeah.
I mean, I know my parents.
I used to know numbers like that.
Mom,
crazy.
Best friends.
I mean, I know like my parents and my sister and mine. I don't know.
I can recognize like the first 6 numbers. of a number?
Yes.
Nah.
Yes.
I can't memorize
Now
it.
today, I only know my mom and my dad's number by
Yeah.
heart. Before, I used to know my mom, my dad, all my siblings, like my fucking my friends. I word, bro. I used to know everything, bro. Like it was crazy.
You had to.
Oh,
You
yeah, I was gonna
had
say.
to.
I was gonna say.
had to, but like,
Because now when
Now
numbers
it's
change and
shit.
people get new numbers, you're like,
Now
oh
that
well, now I
happens
could
a lot
just
more
now I
often.
could just put it in
Yeah,
my phone, so
that
I don't have
happens
to remember it.
Well,
That's
you
all it
only
is.
have like 20 contacts too, so you
Yeah, I remember that.
Have you ever used like I remember in my grandma's house, like she actually since I moved to Florida, but when she was living up in the Bronx, she had the little rotary phone. Do you remember using
Yeah,
that?
my
shit?
grandma-
Remember that shit?
Yeah, my
That
grandma
was
had that too.
that was wild.
Yo, the phone book and all that.
All the phone.
Yeah,
Crazy.
the
My niggas
phone
use the phone all the
book.
time. All the time.
Wow, what
Yeah.
happened to the what did
Yellow
that
Pages.
company just like vanish or
No, it
something?
went online,
Like
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, did it?
Yellow Pages,
Okay.
it's online.
Yeah.
Now-
No, that
now-
makes sense. I'm an
now they
idiot.
charge for it. It's a whole thing.
yeah,
It is. It is.
that's wild.
Check out this next one, though. I'm sure we can all pretty much agree with this one. Well, maybe
No,
being
yeah.
buried in debt.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Buried.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's not even
College is-
not
college
even
debt
just-
is a crime,
Not even just
first of
loan
all.
debt, and not even just credit card debt, like
What else are the
tickets.
That is
Like, for
don't
me,
even talk to me
it,
about
like
that.
it's like
Please.
tickets and late fees for me, and like
Late
fees.
overdraft.
But the late fees come with the first what you call it, the first thing we're talking about that putting it off, right?
Yeah, yeah,
that putting it off thing, right? Because it's a negative thing. You don't want to be bothered by a negative thing.
You don't even want to get into a conversation with me in tickets because I'm probably
Yeah.
ticket king. I have given
You're single-handedly
single-handedly. I think
supporting
I've given.
the
I
New
think
York
I've given
state government.
Fordham's DMV the most money as a Bronxite. I think I'm the bro.
we got to check the
records Oh my for that. God,
I would
seriously.
honestly love.
I'll
Let me tell you something real quick.
I'll bet my debt on that.
Bro, I swear to God, that Errand paralysis thing
Errand
is
paralysis.
real, man. It is real because that is the exact reason why I've given the city probably about like $20,000. I'm exaggerating. I'm dead in the thousands, though. I wouldn't even gas it.
Yeah, no.
I'm probably at least like 1,500 into
Definitely
this,
not
bro.
gas it.
Maybe like 2,000.
But you know what it
Bro,
is though.
bro, more than more than God,
Yeah.
it's even worse.
But you know what it is
I'm
though?
like 4 G's into the MV, bro. It's insane.
It's funny. It's
It's
not.
that Errand paralysis.
No,
Now
but-
I learned it. I'm blaming it on.
No, but getting into the Errand paralysis.
Errand paralysis.
No, but getting into the Errand paralysis.
It's the EP.
It's funny that the consequences of the lack of doing the errand, right? So like if not doing like getting more fees and actually
absurd.
compounding
They
fees.
are absurd.
No. But the thing is that they really don't play so much a role in. They really don't play so much a role in you either doing it or not. It's the actual action of getting it done, right? So if the action is really short, literally just punching in your card number and hitting. Literally, it's that easy. Imagine back in the day when they didn't have fucking computer. How did they pay that shit? And then now that it's literally at the touch of a fucking button. I don't know why I had to do that.
No,
Nah,
But-
we're good here.
Yeah. It's funny. It's just so burdensome.
It is.
And this is why they're calling us that, that burnout. So to be honest, I'm not going to lie. I will accept that because I want to get out of that. And that's the first step to,
I definitely
accepting
should,
that
too.
you are burning out quicker than you should. Because these are menial tasks, bro. Menial tasks.
I think that the two biggest things that come to mind with that is the space for, or I wouldn't say space, the your capability to procrastinate as you grow up, and how that affects the exponential growth to procrastinating as you grow up. And two, the whole misery loves company. Now, because we're all on social media, we all feel the same thing. Now we're all like, oh man, let's talk
We're
about
in-
like you
we're-
said.
we're in a
So
very
because of that, like
connected
it's only fueling us
space.
even more. And that's
Social media is actually on this list too, and I'm looking for it. And this is crazy, although you freak out when your phone dies.
Yeah.
Bro, no funny, I don't freak out. Like, I don't know about that.
No, I don't
Honestly,
freak
I
out.
don't even give a fuck.
I don't freak out.
I mean, it just depends though.
If I have to hit someone up, I'm gonna be like
It's
tight,
the only
but
time
like
I freak out is if it dies and I need directions
yeah.
somewhere. Like I'm depending on it for directions.
GPS, bro.
Happened,
If
though, that shit
Waze,
happened to me
can we talk about a
twice.
time before Waze, real quick?
MapQuest.
No.
Yo, that was crazy.
That's
like,
real time.
That was real. Like
Niggas had to print that.
everybody turned
Yeah.
directions.
For like,
Crazy.
for like 2 North Carolina, South Carolina trips. And
Trash. Waze.
definitely would.
Anyway, yeah. Now I'm just saying, like Waze is just amazing, and like I think every day, and it's funny. Like in a car, like I often have a conversation. Like I asked my uncle the other day. We went to the city to have some dinner, and I was like, yo, how did you guys like maneuver? Like, did you guys really like know how to
My
go
dad
everywhere?
did. I can say my dad
It's
did, for
wild,
sure.
bro.
My dad memorized everywhere he goes.
It's amazing.
And like
it's
how to
amazing.
get there, what side street, he memorized everything.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
I feel my dad is like that too when he drives. Like
Because they had no
you
choice.
just tell him
It was
where-
like, yo, like,
You learn. You don't
Yeah, I
learn.
remember-
dude, like if you fuck it up,
My pops,
Yeah.
my
Not
pops
getting
drove me
it.
one time over here to your crib. I remember he's never been here before, and I told him I was like, yeah, it's in Soundview, and I told him I was like, yeah,
Like
Taylor
a
Ave.
cab mine, like a fucking
Yo, bro, and he was like
cab
Taylor Ave,
mine.
and then bro, like he
my
found
dad
his
Cabby
used to do
way.
that as a kid,
He's
bro.
found his way out, and then obviously like when we got to like around the area, I put the
incredible.
GPS and
And we grew up with this
But-
stuff. Like we evolved with it.
did,
And we were talking about this earlier, talking about like, how we're gonna, talk about the show. We were talking about how for us it was always the state of technology. We didn't have to adapt. We lived it. We grew up with it. As millennials, we were raised by it.
We were.
We literally were raised by it. If you're talking about, television and media and how that was, that even the older generation were raised by media. I think you have to go
To
really.
some extent, to
yeah,
some
to some extent, but
But
the
I'm-
interconnectedness.
It is. It's there. I'm glad you mentioned that, Alec, because we are going to speak on technology, but we're going to go to break. As you guys know, I'm going to have to do it to you. My fault. But I'm going to bring you some nice track right now, okay? This is
What you got
Old
for me?
Devil by Electric Guest. Enjoy.
Sometimes it's hard to learn from all your mistakes. Oh, devil, I'm glad that you came. Guess I should learn how to live because it won't go away. Someone's calling for me. Something's calling for me.
On Millennials. Okay,
Us.
we
Yes.
pretty much us. Okay, like I said, introduced our special guest, my guy Jeremy Cruz. What's going on? Spoke about episode 4. Talked about a couple of responses, which leaked into punishments. We spoke about punishments, and then
That was fun.
we spoke about an article written by Ann Peterson on Buzzfeed. How millennials became the burnt out generation. I think you guys should all give it a read. It's a pretty solid read. We gave our take on what she called us, which was essentially spoiled, entitled, lazy, and failures at adulting. And then Alec brought up a great point regarding technology. We spoke on Instagram a little bit. So we're gonna seep into technology and how it's relatable to us. You mentioned how we grew up with it rather than adapted to it, and I agree 1,000% with that.
Yeah.
The newer generation after 2004, which makes sense, is that kind of hurt.
That was
my
loud.
laptop.
That was
your
loud.
phone, Pop.
That was my. Oh my.
Your phone, your laptop.
Sorry about
I
that.
couldn't agree more, to be honest. I mean, I pretty much believe that we grew up with it rather than adapted to it. Jaron, what do you think?
Definitely. I mean, the earliest forms of technology I saw as a kid was, sure, if we're gonna go that far, yeah. Music was, my dad was a DJ, so definitely our fathers were DJs.
Wow.
Video games,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
Our
definitely.
parents are best friends, bro.
Oh yeah.
That's wild.
Like, I had no other choice than to be this guy's friend, you know?
So yeah, music stuff. Video games was a big thing. Seeing the growth in technology with video game systems, I could see how it could translate to literally everything else, and it has. A computer was at home, but we had the dial-up. You know what I'm saying? We had the, all those noises. You know what I mean? You know how that was? Yeah. And
I'm gonna go to my friend's
Get
house.
me on the
for
phone.
that.
Trash.
In the middle of a game, yo, got a call.
That
For
is
real.
crazy.
For real. It's crazy. It's crazy because you were
Yeah, no, continue.
Yeah.
He was still on the point.
on the games.
and then
Dial up.
and then the computers, and then but I think It depends. Mostly, like my dad was kind of a nerd, so that's why I was more kept up on the technology. So technology was definitely a bigger part of my life than maybe sometimes the average person, for sure.
Windows 95.
Yeah, definitely, I did.
Windows XP 2000.
And Vista and all that. Yeah.
Vista,
Yeah. Yep.
For real. I mean, I remember growing up all of that and having to adapt to all of it. You know what I'm saying? And every time it'll update, we'll just be more amazed. I mean, and just to talk on games really quick. Like, one thing I really appreciate about games, bro, are the graphics. And
They just keep getting
I don't
better.
think people understand how grateful I am to play games where dudes' mouths would just be like, and whole conversations were coming out. To
No
now
animations,
seeing the
yeah.
wrinkles
It's
on
wild,
the cheek,
dude. It's
Yeah, no
insane.
motion.
trickling down.
Kratos,
Oh,
like
Kratos
fucking
just-
The motion captures, yeah.
fucking wild.
Yeah, yeah.
Resident Evil 2, I think is
Oh
the
my-
best
yo,
Resident Evil
I'm
I've
sorry.
ever seen.
I really, I
I
really.
haven't seen that.
Yo, it's like watching a movie at some point. Like
That's
it really,
crazy.
it
No, it's
really
good.
has that aesthetic.
It's a movie that you can play, and this is what I love about what you call like story mode games.
Oh, this is one of
It's
those.
such an
Yeah,
immersive
it's
kind
one
of
of
thing.
those.
It's great.
It is. And back to this technology, like, and the
Absolutely.
fact that we grew up with it. Back to this list that we were speaking about, it actually brings up a couple of technology points.
This one is
One is online dating.
this is the one right here.
I can't
One
speak
is
to
online
it.
dating. I mean, I really can't speak on that.
Yeah, I can't
To
speak
keep
on
it a stack with you.
I mean, I can speak on what I've seen from online dating.
Yeah, I know a couple of stories from online dating websites, but
I've never used it like for real. Like I think everyone's downloaded Tinder at some point.
Nah,
and just fucking
I
around on it.
haven't.
I haven't either.
I got it when it first came
It's
out,
jokes, to
like
be honest.
2014.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I've
I
seen
mean,
tons of
That's
videos
what
for
girls in my
jokes.
class. Like,
yeah, I'm about to say it's jokes.
I
bro.
have,
Like-
dude. I have this kind of pride. I feel like I can,
No, I'm
like,
the same way. Like,
you know what I'm
no,
saying?
the same
Like,
way. I don't
You
use
can't
it
put
for
yourself
that
out there. You
reason.
too good for Tinder, Alec. That's what it is, Bob.
I,
You too good.
no, it's not that I feel like I'm too good. It's just like I feel like I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I can get things without. You
So
know?
you are-
Dirty, now I feel you. The next point that they bring up is being bombarded by social media. I think that's a big thing with technology too. Who mentioned Instagram before the break? Someone was talking about Instagram and, you know, social media, bro. Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. You know, pieces of technology that really essentially take over our everyday life.
Yeah, it shaped the culture.
You know what I'm saying? I think social media plays a very big role in millennials' lifestyles.
Yeah, I mean, technology is growing, so it's gonna be all around us, and social media is just the number one activity to do with technology for us. So yeah, it's gonna have its influence is enormous.
It is. And Alec brought this point up to me.
Yeah.
While he was reading his article, and I think this is a pretty solid one that I actually want to break down a little more.
Yeah.
The fact that human interaction is becoming a thing of the past, and the first sentence that this blurb has is technology has totally transformed the way we do everything. Really quick, I'm sorry, I didn't even reference this article. This is off of Best Life Online. I referenced the title, 20 Millennial Problems.
Yeah.
That actually apply to everyone. The struggle is real for everyone, and it's
Yeah.
written by Tareen Furman.
Mhm.
Okay, so back to this point that I was saying, human interaction is becoming a thing of the past. Technology has totally transformed the way we do everything. HP, what's your take on that, man?
Technology has transformed everything.
Do you want me to finish the blurb just a little bit so that we
Yeah.
could? So when you're at the store, you use the self checkout. When you're at a party, you're staring down at your phone. Instead of having to be social, it lets everyone become introverts. And when you have time, and when you have to interact with people IRL, things can get a little awkward. You know, since you're less used to it.
Yeah. I
Real
can.
life is IRL, by the way.
All right, Grandpa.
Yeah, I can agree to that. I mean, I think that could be true to some sense because I always remember one of my coaches in baseball. He said something one time. He was like, "Yo, the problem with a lot of kids, a lot of inner city kids too, like you got, like because that's what we were. We were a team based in Brooklyn, but like you know, what I'm saying all of us were inner city kids. Yeah. He's like, yo, the problem with a lot of y'all is that y'all can't even hold conversations with people. You know what I'm saying? But he was pissed at us about something, but he always keep it real. He said some shit like that, and I remember thinking to myself like, what? Yes, I can. But now I find myself now that I hold a corporate job now. It's my first like corporate job. You feel me? And I'm just like I catch myself sometimes, like with like speaking with certain people that like are 40, been into fucking working for years and shit like that. You know, yeah, I love talking to them too. But I sometimes with certain people, I find myself it's harder to hold a conversation with them. And then I start realizing like, holy shit, like, all right, I kind of see what this guy was talking about, you know, like, so yeah, I find that interesting.
Finding something to relate to someone, I think, is a little bit different
Than human interaction.
Than human interaction. No, because I mean, I feel like certain people have problems with that because of just not having something in common. You know what I'm saying? Just the basic difference in, you know, age and stuff like that.
Too, yeah.
But I feel like technology, what they were getting at with technology was that it's literally impairing us because essentially if we don't use it, we lose it. Our social skills, right? Mm-hmm. You know? Amongst other things that we could lose if we don't use, you know, I mean, social skills are up there. You know, if you don't consistently have interaction, right, with people, you become this kind of awkward kind of person.
You do.
And especially if you do these, you know, if you forcefully do it, like if you say I just don't want to be, you know, social at all, which certain people choose to be, you know, it does reflect and it does trickle down. There are things that, I mean, interacting with other people is super important because it's a learning experience. Anytime you have an interaction with someone, you're learning something about humanity. You're learning something about not only the other person, but humanity in general. And that plays a part of your collective kind of experience and your collective archive that makes you have better decisions later on in life. And I know I got a little weird and deep there, but it's like, that's how I view it. That's how I view how interacting with people, you know, why it's so important.
Yeah.
It's because you're really just kind of like, you know, gauging, you know, how you want to like live your life. I don't know if you get.
I get you.
You get what I'm saying? You know.
I think what technology sort of takes away is nuance. So like what it does is like when you don't see a person face to face and all you see is like a text message or, you know, a post that they put online, right? You miss context. So like you can interpret something totally different than the way you would have interpreted in person. Like on the internet, like you could take something like totally offensive. Like I can say something like I can't really think of anything right now, but like I can say something like that would offend, like on its own would look offensive with no context online if I just went out and said it. But if I said it in person in the correct context, you understand it. And I feel like
absolutely
social media like ruins that because it makes you quicker to judgment of people.
And it's funny, and that's playing a big role now in you know, for example, people that didn't really gauge the power of social media back in the day. We were actually talking about, France actually told me about one of our first, the first artist that we had on, Sabrina Claudio, today, and how back in the day she had posted some controversial, it sounded a little racially charged comment on social media, and probably back in the day when she didn't think anything of it, right? Now it came back to bite her in the ass, you know, and that's something. And to be honest, something like that, something that she said, however racially charged you want to put it, that is something that people would say in a regular conversation, and it would literally just go.
Right over there.
But the permanency, the permanency of social media, it kind of like etches it in stone, and can literally. And the thing is that it lasts through time. So as times change, those comments don't change, and therefore the context in which the context does change. Therefore, you're more susceptible. Therefore, you're more susceptible to having it misinterpreted or kind of, you know, being a misrepresentation of who you are as a person.
And what you actually meant at that time.
And it's terrible.
And that's what I mean about like the total destruction of nuance. It's like it's now a game of like I don't want to be the person who gets caught saying something stupid because I'm afraid people won't understand. And it's true, like in the moment people are going to be mad, even if they're mad for no reason. Right. They're going to be mad, but like we don't think like it's now you remove the fact that people can change now.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, that's what I think social media and like not having human interact, like you can be mad all you want at a stranger you've never met.
True.
Because you don't know that person. Like for example, this is gonna be probably really bad. You can be mad all you want at R. Kelly, right? Like you don't really like you can be as the maddest person in the world, but like for some people they're not as mad because they know R. Kelly in a different way. So it's like they're not as mad as they probably should be, but because they know R. Kelly, they feel bad. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Like they know him. They don't know him as just this monster. They know him as the hit maker or as a good friend or whatever. And I feel like this is not to excuse R. Kelly in any way, but I'm just saying it's like but those are the kind of nuances that are missing when you don't see a person face to face. You can be pretend mad as hell,
right,
on the internet, but when you see them face to face, you just notice all the subtleties. It's like it's like wow,
something
it's
I
just
wanted to
different.
something I actually wanted to talk about with regards to like the removal of certain aspects of interaction, right? So actually interacting with someone has different levels to it. So you have personal interaction, visual, right? Auditory, sensory, obviously if a person's there, you get the whole experience of that person, right? Then it was like a thing of the phones, right? Then phones came in, right? And we used to have long conversations on the phone, and even that went away. We don't do that anymore. Everything is now in text.
I don't know. You take
You know, it's something.
The phone
I-
is on speaker, and you hear the whole conversation. I don't know.
You
about
know,
that.
it's
now it's FaceTime in public.
it's really it's
Arguing
really,
and shit, looking at
yeah,
the screen.
and it's
Yeah,
funny,
no,
and it's funny.
yeah.
We kind of went back because I feel like fundamentally we do crave that human interaction, right? No matter what it is, and we crave it immediately. And so whatever immediate. So obviously, I mean, if you guys are doing something, I mean, if you're doing something and your best friend is doing something in other place, that's really the only means you can interact, right? We want that immediate interaction, right? But we actually do fundamentally want that person, and I feel like that's where FaceTime came in. FaceTime was like, wow, it added an extra level. Now I can see you now.
I can see. It's sort of
Right?
like what we do episode 4.
Do you think that's a step up from like phone conversations? Do you think
Yeah,
so?
your faces evolve. So not only
yeah.
can you see what the
Yeah.
person's saying and how
So we're
they're
not
saying it,
totally
but
going
you sort of
south,
feel
right?
that one-on-one interaction, like that personal, saying, although it's not in person, it's still personal interaction, you know what I mean? And Kenneth actually said this, I forgot what episode it was, bro. You mentioned that we're social beings, like humans are meant to be social.
Yeah,
like, we're,
completely, yeah.
Like we are meant to engage in conversation and be friendly and
yeah.
do all of this shit. So it's like, I don't think it's becoming a thing of the past, because you do have those old school people who always claim, oh, I'm old school, I do this and that. So it's never gonna be a thing of the past, right? It's never gonna be a thing of the past. But
I never want to be like that though. Can we like pledge to like not be like be like
hey,
our
listen, I'm old
parents?
school here, boy.
Back in
I'm
my day.
already starting to feel it. So I'm like every time I feel myself saying like
back in my day.
back in my,
Nah, I'm gonna have to throw in the officer check boy. Back in my time, this is what we did back then. But nah, I don't want to say
Fucking fed.
What?
You fucking fed. You heard me.
Hey, listen here. Oh, that
Fuck outta
that
here.
gangster talk. I'm
It ain't no gangster talk, man.
Get out of here, man.
It's factual talk.
Factual.
You fucking federale.
Word. Copy.
Alright.
Copy.
That's why
I don't
nobody
think it's
fuck with you,
becoming a
man.
thing of the past, though, man. I think, people are still doing this one-on-one interaction. I know I make it a thing for me to meet people.
yeah,
I
no,
actually
absolutely.
love meeting people.
I love
You guys know me.
conversation,
Every
bro.
time I'm around new people, every time I bring y'all around new people, I introduce
Right.
you guys at least 5 times in like 10 minutes.
Yes.
So that's just what I do, bro.
Absolutely.
I gotta make sure my people know who I'm with and vice versa. And I want to know who I'm surrounded by as well.
I feel like our generation.
There's like
isn't as much of a
and there's
problem.
something else I want to also just
Some of us
speak
It's
about
not-
just really quick. It's like this is I think for me personally, like when I was younger, like I was kind of like an awkward social interacting person. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you definitely were. I ain't gonna
And it's
lie.
like,
Why?
but like for me, it was like rather than quitting, I kind of just kept going with it. Like it was just something I developed. And
It was
something-
you. It became you. You were that guy.
But it's also like you have to develop social interaction. So it's like
Right.
you're not always like you're gonna fuck it up with a person that you may like, or you may fuck it up with a stranger or something like that.
You got to learn from
You
those
gotta
little
move past
experiences.
that.
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
if you rely too much on your cell phone or rely too much on technology, you're never gonna get past that. And I feel like it's like no one is perfect. You're not gonna get the perfect interaction every single time. There's no such thing really, I would say. So it's like you have to work at it. And I feel like younger people are gonna have a hard time working at it, because of the technology. So I think that's what it means by a thing of the
It's
past.
taking away that sort of.
I hear you.
It's easier to put yourself in a bubble.
One thing I think that should be extremely interaction is getting a job. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people don't go out and hand out resumes. No more,
Soft
bro.
skills is what they call it. Right?
Like a lot of people don't do that no more, bro. And I think that's actually a big thing. That actually might get you the job quicker than applying online, because you got to think these people, these companies don't read emails a lot, and they are getting applications every single day. I've done this before, and it's crazy because I didn't grow up back then. Like my mother was like, "Yo, go out and hand your resumes."
I did that for a couple for my
How did you
restaurant
feel
jobs.
doing that compared to applying
Obviously, it is a little more nerve wracking because you're putting yourself out there, right? But it does, for example, it takes a lot of those questions that would be otherwise unanswered through online application, it takes those questions out the way. For example, in a waiter job, appearance is a big thing. You know, you are. I mean, you don't have to necessarily be a model, but you have to be decent. Like, you have to be. I mean, you can't be like, you know, can't be cooked. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta be able to come and look. you gotta be able to come in and make the restaurant look good. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day,
because you look like you eat all the food. Rather than
you know, boy. I mean that. And to be honest, you know, it's one of those things that aren't said. Right, it's one of those things that aren't like it's not gonna be on those unwritten rules, right? It's not gonna be on a job description that you have to look a certain type of way. But you already know it never will be because then you're gonna be victim. You know, it's like victim of shaming. It's not but at the end of the day, it is a job. It is a business.
That's what the people want.
The people do not want to look at something. You know, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it can get that way. You know.
To be honest with you, I think this list of 20 might apply to the generation after. More than it would apply to us.
Ooh.
God damn, I got the new iPhone 10. He got a drop on this.
Yo, that thing didn't overflow.
Yo, you got the liquid in there, pop.
Boy, suck it out.
This guy.
Yo, you lucky that wasn't a brand new slot.
That's nasty, bro. Do you have?
Nah, so
don't even.
Nah,
I know it's Irish
actually
thing. Don't even.
meaning to get a screen protector. I'm slacking.
It's alright.
It's been like 6 days. Nah, we're good though.
But
so I feel like this list really mainly applies to the generation after us.
No, some of those things.
No. Some of them definitely apply to us. I'm not taking that away. We are bombarded by social media.
But I think the social interaction is where we differ because I've seen because working at the hardware store, kids come in all the time and they're just so awkward. Socially
Dude, let me tell you. I'm a barber. We all know this. I cut hair.
I'm talking to you. Bro, I'm closer to your age than like half these. Like, dude,
seriously,
I'm chill.
Like, I'm cool, dude. Bro, there's kids who sit in my chair first when they come in.
Damn, we sound like parents, man.
Whoa, they like, how much is a cut? I tell them the price. They're like, okay.
With that face.
They sit in the chair. What do you want? Let me get a taper. And they're just there the whole time. And I'm cutting. I'm talking to them. I'm smiling. There's music bumping. And they're just like this. And you said earlier in your statement regarding.
I'm not gonna lie, I used to be like that in the barbershop.
I used
to be like that in the barbershop.
Relax, you feel me? Event.
Yeah, but sometimes I'm sorry.
Yo, let's just remove the whole can.
Please. Sorry. To be honest, the conversation that these barbers wanted to have with me, dude, they just like annoying, bro. Like I'm just like I don't want to talk to you, bro. Like you're an imbecile, my friend. Like I don't want to talk to you. No. But no. I'm not gonna lie. No. It was just like they were really good barbers. They're just not good conversation people. Like they just talked about some vain shit. I'm sorry.
So you said that you gotta.
I'm just kidding.
You know the right barbers, man.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? My barber used to give me the Henny, the Coquito, all that.
Apparently my barber wasn't that
We be
popular,
chilling.
bro.
It's an event.
It is.
You feel me? When I come to the shop, we lit.
Get out of here. So when it comes to that social interaction, you mentioned it's about putting yourself out there, and I think with this new generation, because they're brought up with all of this technology, it causes them to stay home, and that's what, being that they're adapting to it, they're adapting to this lifestyle of not really meeting people a lot, and they're becoming introverts. They're growing up as introverts. So when they do have the opportunity to, associate with people and socialize, they can't.
Yeah.
And I feel like I said, that relates more to the newer generation than us, because I feel like we all grew up different, bro. Like we grew up with technology, we didn't adapt to it. That I can't stress that enough, and that is exactly why we are the little social birds that we are today.
And taking that a step further, interaction, right? Another form of that interaction that has become automated, dating, which was another thing on the list, man. And not only dating, but there's certain apps, that for example, like Tinder, and I
just heard of a new one today. It's called was Hinge or something like that?
Hinge. Yes, I've been seeing
another
ads
one
for that all over.
I heard it's just Tinder, but it's like the what's up.
Really?
Like it's no bullshit. Like what's up.
That's my point. That's my point. It's again taking away the social interaction that would have been there, right?
Shortcuts.
Yeah, it's a shortcut. Literally,
we
like
the shortcuts for everything, man. Like you mentioned.
We're learning how to be more
efficient.
But is that efficient?
The funny thing about that online dating thing is like I was talking to this guy, one of my coaches at my gym. He's like 40, like he's in his 40s or something like that, and he's with his wife, and his wife was like, he didn't realize he didn't like his wife until like 10 years
Into the marriage?
into the marriage,
Oh,
right?
okay.
And so
It
he
be-
was like,
dude, it
bro,
be like
if I
that,
was
man.
like
It
you,
be like
he's
that.
like, if I was like you young people growing up with Tinder and all this technology and stuff like that, he's like, I would have never made the mistake of marrying her because like I would have been able to satisfy. Like I just married her because it was convenient and she satisfied my
Yeah.
needs right there and then. That's what he told me. I was like,
It's just a matter of
Damn.
time and place.
yeah. He was like, if I
Yeah.
had what you guys have access to now, he's like, you young men.
That's
He's
wild.
like, men, our value goes up over time. Women, the value goes down over time. I was like, wow,
That is wild.
crazy.
But it's really funny though. You know, you mentioned efficiency, right? Efficiency basically getting you from point A to point B in the shortest amount of time possible.
Most likely.
Right.
Most of the time, that's what efficiency is used as. Yeah.
The problem with that is that the journey is often the most valuable part.
Of course.
Okay, so I think in this case, when it comes to social interaction, actually practicing that social interaction that maybe will get you into bed with someone, right? That is the more valuable part. That is what you're gonna be using with you for the rest
It's
of your
gonna
life.
That's how you
The
learn
sex,
and you apply.
yeah, the sex is
get you.
something.
I get
You understand what
you.
I'm
I get
saying?
you.
The sex is like, all right, cool, yeah, boom. That's the pie at the end. You know what I'm saying? That's like, you know, after the, you know,
But the
at
journey's
the
gonna
end
make
at the
that
end of
pie
the
better.
race.
But are you gonna find the girls you really want to be piping there though? You get what I'm saying? Like
Stupid.
the baddies gonna find out.
No, I understand. No,
You feel me? They gonna
I'm
be
not-
on the app, my man.
Ah,
They gonna be at the
yo,
bar.
bro, you would be surprised though.
I mean,
I've
'Cause,
never
yo,
been
I
on
know
it.
some
I've never
dudes.
been on it.
Yo, couple
My
of
friends show
dudes,
me
man.
their accounts though. I find it pretty interesting.
Yo,
Just
couple of
flipping
my
through their
dudes,
shits.
bro.
Like,
They done kill some beautiful women on these apps. You know what I'm saying? So I might have to dispute you
no
on that,
type of
Bob. I'm
shit.
sorry.
Alright, but I'm just saying. But
this is my thing.
at the end of the day, let's say I'm talking about you in Dykeman.
There's no problem
It's 1
with it.
a.m. You in fucking wherever the fuck you at, La Marina, whatever, and you fucking. There's a girl right there, bro. Baddie, right in front of you. The app is not even a question for me. You gotta use your social skills to go up and bag that.
it's tough, and let me tell you,
You feel
and
me? Like-
that environment, it's a little brutal in that one. You know what I'm saying? Like,
To be
it's,
fair, if you're
especially
not rapping with
uptown.
money, you know, it's just over. But
And it's
I
really
mean,
funny.
it is what it is, and it ain't
It's
what it
really
ain't.
funny.
But I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's tough, bro. And dudes be trying to like hit them with the shit that they'll tell them in DM too. And
Now, do you think it's easier? Is it easier to get a girl from an online platform? Is it easier to get a girl?
It depends what kind of girl you
I
want.
think it depends on the
Hell yeah.
I
people.
want to hear this. Germs, open us up with this.
I think it depends what kind of girl you want.
Absolutely.
You know, if the girl is more on social media or more using technology to use her interactions, then yeah. You'll find that.
that's a good point.
But in person, you know, sometimes you find, well, I wouldn't say sometimes, probably majority of the time, you're gonna find the best quality in someone in person, and not all those qualities, of course, you're not gonna find online. So, I mean, it depends if the person you want to find makes herself accessible, if she is gonna use online or not, kind of thing, through showing herself through the online platform.
Some people just speak better through a screen as well, man.
Yeah.
Like
It's
you
a
feel more
false sense of
confident.
confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing behind, you know, like being a, what is it called?
Like an that bully kind of
A
thing.
bully, you know, no, a finger thug. What was it? What do they call it?
Twitter fingers.
Twitter finger. No, they call it. There's another thug term.
Twitter
Keyboard warrior.
Keyboard warrior.
Something like that.
That's good.
But I mean, like for me, like it was like the opposite. I felt like before I used to only be good like on the internet.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I'm only good in person because like I can't do the internet shit. It's just like
You know
what it is, bro?
I can't do
I don't
it.
fuck with it.
Gradually, like you and I personally, because you know, obviously,
Yeah.
we have literally attended so many events that
Yeah.
it
It's
sort of
impossible.
forced you
It's
now.
impossible
And yeah,
to
it's
be
impossible
weird.
to not be
Yeah,
social. Like,
yeah.
bro,
I was at a party last night. I felt like I was the most social person there
Yeah,
because
bro,
people were
love
like
it. I
in
love
their
it.
phones or they were like really
Man.
awkward around strangers.
I
and
hate
was
being
like,
on
I
the
love
phone.
"What's wrong with you?"
conversation.
People, like,
Conversation
I
is
need-
so
I
good,
need it,
man.
I'm like,
That's-
what's
I
wrong
need
with
it.
you?
we know that there's
people?
some
You
people
learn
probably
so
just-
much.
They might not even feel like they're capable of holding a combo too, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's what it mostly is. It's just
That's why, bro, I
Lack
be
of
reading mad
confidence.
random things. Those are just conversation starters, bro. I'll tell you a random fact about something, and you're just like, oh shit, word.
But oh shit, it's like it's a herb.
And this is and
He gonna be the one in the corner with his hoodie on talking about this.
holding up the
Oh.
shit.
Nigga gonna be a wallflower.
Yeah,
Like,
backhanded you when you walk up to me. Fuck out
Mr.
here.
Block, man.
This shit whack, B. Mr. Block.
Not even.
Yo, all I
I'm
can
in my
think of is
3-6 Mafia shit on side to
Standing
side.
in his bubble in the pool.
Yo.
Yo, that's
what?
literally all
What
I
you
can
said?
think about.
You
The
said,
merman,
bitch?
the pool. Oh wow,
Some
yeah.
memes.
I remember that meme.
Yeah, you
That was a good
definitely
meme.
put it on the group chat. Anyway,
Oh.
anyway, back to the
Back to this.
I'll
and
dance with your bitch. Fuck out
do
here.
you have anything else to say, guys? Because this is it. I'm gonna close it up here. We're reaching the end of this segment, and I feel like we got a lot out on the table. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, being called a millennial, I don't think is an insult
At all.
I feel like it is our job to create the definition of millennial. I think it's our job to change that perspective. I think this generation, being that we have the technology and the tools to have things a little bit more accessible, a little more immediate, and more present in our lives, it's something that we need to take responsibility and say, hey, listen, is this really taken away? Is this being detrimental to who I can be? Can I be better than this? Can I actually, I like to think all the time, like, listen, if technology were to just vanish like that,
How would we do?
how would we deal with this?
That'd be insane. I mean, you see people all the time go without technology for a couple hours and they go crazy, and it makes you think, like, yo, seriously? Shit is wild out here, man. But listen, I couldn't agree with you more. I don't think it's a bad thing to be called a millennial. I think it's a pretty good thing. I think the ball is essentially in our court. But alrighty, guys, that is it for this episode 5 on millennials. Alec, you brought up some great points, my brother. Definitely want to appreciate that. I'm gonna have to agree with you. It's not a bad thing to be called a millennial. I actually like it, and I'm
It's
gonna
up
wear
to
it
us,
proud,
man.
when it does come into conversation.
That's
I just want to thank my brother here for attending the 5th episode, man. It was a pleasure having you.
Absolutely. It's
If
a great
you
time
wanna-
being here.
Always
you wanna
welcome.
Give the listeners your IG handle, your Twitter, so that way they can give you a follow.
Yeah, both are Jeremy, N as in new, G as in game, P as in plus. Jeremy NGP.
What does NGP stand for, bro?
I just told you.
Fucking
smart ass.
Jeremy New Game Plus.
New Game Plus,
Thank
man.
you.
You guys know where to follow.
Oh, that's for real? That's for real?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Oh.
You guys already know where to follow the podcast at the Checkbox, no K. You can follow me at Chec_7, my guy here at _ in every color. Alec with the K at Alec_Sergio. HP over here, HPenna730. Y'all got my man saying right here, guys. Thanks for joining us. And we're going to close off with a smooth track. Okay, this was
What you
actually
got? What
produced
you
by one of our closest boys' cousins, Chef Pasquale. Also produced
Is he really a
KFC by
chef?
Drake.
Is he really a
No,
chef?
he just be cooking up beats, bro. So this is Johnny Drama. It's called
Oh,
Making
me.
It. Kirk, you was about to say something?
No, I was just saying the track that he produced on Drake's album. It was with Ness too.
Yeah, with
both
Ness as
both
well.
of them.
KMT.
Yeah,
Pretty
KMT.
dope. All right, guys,
Go
enjoy
check it
this
out.
track. Once again, thanks for joining us. This is the Checkbox.
Okay, I'm making it. Ayy, drama been a boy, I know you hated it. Ayy, shorty way too bad for me not to hit. Yeah, whole city love me and it got me lit. Got me lit. If you talking to me, better tell the truth now. Talk. I'm a new wave, drama on a new sound. Call the doctor if you got a problem. I'm a rock star, all my dogs mobbing. Yeah, I'm on a delay, off that Sprite and gin. Like a replay, shorty coming back again. Spent the whole check, got it back again. Man, they tear me in, now I gotta win. Okay, I'm making it. Ayy, drama been a boy, I know you hated it. Ayy, shorty way too bad for me not to hit. Yeah, whole city love me and it got me lit. I can't have a little, need a lot of it. I could tell you how I feel, I don't bottle it. If you want, you thought you been here, but I've been here before. When we in the wheel, we gon' drive that shit slow. With the top down, just so everybody knows. Staying on my toes, I don't ever lose control. Yeah, I been on the road, it ain't never getting old. Walking out the stove, lot of bags, I want more. Okay, I'm making it. Ayy, drama been a boy, I know you hated it. Ayy, shorty way too bad for me not to hit. Yeah, whole city love me and it got me lit.